Chat, is that mole snot? They sneezed? It's absolutely mole snot. That's probably going to be the thumbnail here. Somebody get that mole a tissue. He's wiping it on his sleeve. That's gross. This time, chat, I ran upstairs real quick because I wanted to check on something, and I turned the light off as I went upstairs because, you know, you leave the room, you can try and conserve power, and then I didn't turn it back on when I got back in the room. Whoops. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're jumping into the end of this particular season. I didn't get gold this season. Spoiler alert. We'll try for gold next season. We'll see. I decided we are going to do the pack opening. I was debating because there was a suggestion, and I thought it was pretty good. There was a suggestion to hold off on opening packs so that way I have an enormous bank of coffee for when the Halloween update drops, because if we count from 4 weeks from now, we're going to be pretty close to Halloween. I imagine, we don't know for sure, but at least I'm guessing that it's going to drop around the time of that season. We'll have to play it by ear. I mean, it's entirely possible it drops mid-season and, you know, things happen, but we'll see. We'll see. I reached gold today. I let my opponents win 23 games to get it. Oh, no, Eric, that's rough. That's rough. Well, hopefully everybody did get gold that wanted to get gold. It is... We've talked about it before. Getting gold packs is work. Like it requires actual effort to ensure that you are playing enough games. That's the bottom line. I'm not sure why the numbers are the way they are. I mean, yes, these are multiples so that way you end up, you know, if you play, what is it, 6 games a day? Every day for 4 weeks, you'll hit it. Why isn't it like 3 games a day? I don't know. It's tough. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the economy in Phobies, the game economy, and I'm basically of the same opinion. I just don't feel like I don't know. I just think it asks a lot of people. It asks a lot. I think 4 games a day. I saw somebody, because I'm actually paying attention to the feedback and suggestion forum, because I think it's a reasonable way to, like, how do people feel about Phobies? What are their pain points? That sort of thing. Because if people are voicing it, like, they're upset enough to voice a complaint, you have to at least think about it, right? And I think it's also worthwhile discussion topics in general, either to support said suggestion or to take it apart, because there may be some misinformation, there may be a misunderstanding, there may be whatever. But somebody was talking about the quest system, and honestly, I'm not even exaggerating, chat. I've had 2 out of 3 of these quests, the Moly Bully quest and the Mopsy quest, for maybe literally all season. I get the reason that they do this, but it kind of cycles back to the discussion we had yesterday, where I just feel like everything is punishing. Everything is super punishing. It just... If you're free to play. If you're free to play. I mean, it's still punishing if you're not free to play, because guess what? You're just getting punished in a different area. Couple thousand XP isn't really a good reward for these quests. I think they could arguably double or half, depending on which thing we're talking about, all of the numbers for these things, and still come out pretty far ahead. Still come out pretty far ahead. It really comes down to, and this may be part of the thought process, because again, it's not good to beat up on the devs. I don't mean to, I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to reason through it. Hey, Gabe, what's good? The devs clearly did a lot of math to orchestrate what the current game economy is. And they know how many, like, how long it will take to do X, Y, or Z. And maybe one of the major concerns at this stage is that if everybody can skyrocket in level, skyrocket in collections that it's just even more punishing for a new player. But right now, I don't know, it feels like the ratio is going to be the same, where if you keep the structure today, people are going to outpace new players regardless and then just pummel them with stress levels. And if you remove the caps, if you improve the grind, as in not make the grind harder, make the grind easier, if you improve the economy in the player's direction, you know, bank error in our favor, then the new players coming in will also benefit from that, because they level up faster, they'll gain their stuff faster. I don't know. Something I think has to give. I think it needs to give. A cool update to see would be an amusement park update where they made Phobies based off of rides like super crazy roller coasters, drop towers, slingshots, people stuff. That would be kind of cool. That would actually be interesting. Maybe not an amusement park, but a carnival. Because I see you mentioning Bo Mangles. And I could see a carnival theme and have all like you could probably have all the different types of Phobies at like a demonic psycho carnival. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Halloween attractions that do that sort of thing. I could see it. You know, actually, Taco, now that I'm saying that, that would be a really cool theme for the Halloween update. Because that feels like a Halloween thing, just like a haunted house, or a haunted house in a carnival. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I don't know, I think if they made progression any faster, you'd end up getting Phobies too fast for a card game. Phobies has a really low amount of cards. It's not really a card game, though. It's a miniatures game. And we were talking about that, Eric, because, like, I don't disagree with you. But assuming that they keep both facets of the current economy, you have Phobie acquisition and you have Phobie leveling. There's a bit of psychology that goes into whether people would still be enticed to, like, oh, I have all the Phobies, but I need to level them all, so I don't really have all the Phobies. You know what I mean? If you had, let's say you maxed out all but 10 Phobies, and then you get the last 10. They're level 1. You can't use those in games. You'll just get crapped on, right? Because presumably you'd be up at Sum of All Fears, you pop out a level 1 Bo Mangles. That's just awful. Like, you're going to get destroyed every time that thing hits the board. So, I agree, because there definitely is, for most people, whether they want to admit it or not, and we did talk about this a lot yesterday, so anybody watching this on YouTube, rehash of yesterday, but people absolutely want the carrot to chase, whether they want to believe it or not. Like, that's a thing in actual card games, and I agree, if we consider Phobies a card game, which I don't think it really is, it just is a game that has cards. Like, if you say you play a board game, I mean, this is the first thing that comes to mind because I was making a Monopoly reference earlier, but say Monopoly. It has cards, but it is absolutely not a card game, right? And you can think of way better board games than that. I mean, the Gears of War board game is the next one that comes to mind because I was thinking about repainting the little miniatures in it. And, you know, there are cards in there for certain events, things like that. Point is that I think that, yes, there is something to that. Yes, it would put additional strain on the Phobies team to create new Phobies, new content, new stuff. I think this is one of the other things, and this was not really covered yesterday. One of the things that you have to consider is that in Phobies, it is not unlike an RTS. Think about StarCraft. StarCraft 2 had 2 expansions. People lost their minds because there were 2 expansions. They thought there should only been 1 because that was how Brood War was, or they didn't want any expansions, or whatever. Point is that there were 2 expansions. They introduced new units, but not that many. But people still play Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, StarCraft Brood War, and the big change to them primarily, there's occasionally balance changes and stuff like that, but for the most part, they're static on that end. There's no more units getting added. It's map changes, and I think that a lot of things can be done with Phobies with just the maps. And the map rotation is weekly, so like you constantly have this churn. So I've talked about this on many occasions, many streams, but I think maps are really the way that Phobies needs to sell stuff. Not like literally, but to sell people on, hey, keep playing the game. Keep spending money on the game. And because of the leveling system, I think that that's always going to be there. Now, if they got rid of leveling or gave everybody all the Phobies and then you can only you solely focus on leveling, there's even beyond that, like there's still the stress level, so you still have a carrot to chase. I don't know. What do I think about making a map that will attack your phobies if you have them in some place to make possession harder? Yeah, so lava, like Luffy's saying, is basically that. But if you wanted something like... an interesting map mechanic along those lines, Kratosss, would be picture a battle royale where the map just continuously shrinks. So what if you started with a big map, and then after X number of turns, the map shrinks by a few tiles, and then by a few tiles, and then by a few tiles, until it hits a certain point where, like, the heart, and maybe it either pushes the hearts in, unlikely, or the hearts basically start next to each other in the middle. So that, like, you are forced to be on there. The problem is with that is where the vaults would have to appear closer to the center. Like, there's a lot of weirdness. So, like, a battle royale? Yes, exactly, Silver. I mean, that is what I started with. Admittedly, the idea came to me while I was playing Rumbleverse earlier. I had a really sick win where I just flung 4 people off the map. It was awesome. And I even got a triple super to just pulverize somebody with a pile driver. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. What if there was a neutral phobia on the map that attacks both teams? And you would need certain things. So I would like to, along those lines, Forgo, there are other games that have had that concept where it's like, if you control a certain point, it'll spawn a monster for as long as you control it, and then it's like a computer-controlled monster. It probably just marches in a line and attacks. Like, say it spawns a Cerberus, not literally the Phobie Cerberus, but something like that. A melee, one space movement Phobie that's just going to be like walk, attack, walk, attack. Oh, something's next to me, attack, attack. That sort of thing. As long as you can control an area. It would be interesting. I don't know if that would actually work. Like, the balance for that would be absolutely nightmarish. The keyhole would be in the gas. If you're talking about for the Battle Royale concept, that's where I was mentioning possibly having to have a second vault keyhole show up. 2v2s would be really interesting. Honestly, and we've talked about this before, I think 2v2s would be a nightmare. Because the games would never end. Think about, because we've all played long games, right? Think about a 50-turn game in async, because that happens, right? We reviewed a game last night that was 52 turns on a small map. 52 turns. Then imagine there are 2 more people in that game. Now imagine trying to play it in async. Now imagine not trying to fling yourself off the roof when that game is still going on 6 months from now. Like, that's my biggest concern, in all seriousness. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think 2v2 would be super cool, but I played other games that actually, like actual card games, Mythgard, for example, touted it as a pretty significant feature. No, I love forgetting about a trap 3 weeks later. Now, imagine if you start that game on, like, the 4th of July weekend, and then around Christmas you get around to stepping on that trap. Seems bad, right? Maybe reduce the key costs in 2v2s? So, honestly, if 2v2s existed, there are 2 ways to handle it. You can make it a super serious mode where you actually try and balance it, which, by the way, the balance would have to be, it would expect it to be wildly different from 1v1. But, if you did that, you either have to be super serious about it, or you have to say, you know what? The hell with it. Like, this is just for funsies. Whatever happens, happens. If the games suck, they suck. If they're crazy, they're crazy. If they take 1,000 years, or they're over in 2 turns, it doesn't matter. 2v2, but it can't be async? Oh, the amount of keys. Like, so you just don't get as many keys? Maybe. Maybe. I'd like a modifier where maps are like, traps have no cooldown, still want to turn. Having one of those modes kind of goes to, because we were talking about it last night. I might as well open my jacks while we're talking. If you were to have a, like a casual mode, I don't know. I think it just splits the queues. I think it splits the queues and would cause problems. I don't know what the player base looks like right now. I mean, Phobies seems healthy, but we've all had queues sometimes, especially towards the top of the ladder, where, you know, if you're up here, it can be a long-ass queue. It can be a long queue, and now imagine you're taking some section of those players away. I don't know. Also, double Phobies, like 4 unicorns, Ginstings, Jars. Yeah, it could get really weird. Like, imagine if all 4 players spawn trap phobies. That would absolutely... As soon as somebody spawns a trap phobie, somebody else is spawning a trap phobie. And then basically all 4 players are going to do it. And then that means that either traps are overlaying traps, which is fine, or no one's moving and the entire map is a minefield. And no one's doing anything. And that's when those games would take, like, no joke, 200 turns. Doom Doom becomes goated. It's Doom Doom's time to shine. It's time, baby. Doom Doom, rise up. Champion caliber phobie there. Alright, chat. We'll keep talking about stuff, but I'm gonna pull up the game reviews, because we're probably gonna do game reviews and then the pack opening, and that's about it tonight. That's kind of what I expect. I'm anticipating, again, content affiliate. They give me coffee, hence why this is up here. I don't know if there's gonna be a sale for the Halloween event, but I presume there will be, right? I expect there will be, and if there will be, I will probably sink in some more cash, and then that way I can open more packs for that. We'll see. Play a game while we're waiting for season or review. 20 minutes left. I don't want to jump into a game because Sundays are... That's why I was thinking about making Sunday the review day, because people don't really play games on Sunday. They just kind of throw games in order to complete their quests or their game counts, and that's not worth it. A phobie that could resurrect one of your phobies would be cool. Costs like 5 keys. Can't revive anything above 5 keys and dies while doing it. If it dies while doing it, that seems much more reasonable than a lot of the other suggestions that are along those same lines that have been brought up, Irk. Because in the past, when people say that, oh, I want a necromancer phobie, and I love stuff like that. I love the undead phobies. But the problem is when you have those sort of things, it gets super duper weird. Or any kind of phobie that spawns more things. But I would not be surprised if we got a phobie that eventually lets you bring back a phobie. Because at some point, like, let's say you have a 5-key phobie that does that. You resurrect a 3-key. Does it immediately put it into play or just let you play it again? Because if you have to play it again, you've now spent 11 keys for 6 keys worth of stuff. That doesn't seem great. It could be good. It could be real good. On a big map, it might be busted, depending on what you get back. You know, like, if you double up on your spiders. It's like, oh, I'll run my spider and get a yoink, blow up something important of yours, then reanimate my spider. I like checkers have a basic strength unit that if it strikes the enemy heart, revive it through. That sounds really good, like, that sounds way too good, Luffy. That sounds way too good. That thing sounds busted. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. Alright, chat. So we're zoning in here. Our hero is MOSCA in the orange trunks against Smiley. We have another this time intra-Fright Night fight going on. And the notes for this are close game, lots of minor mistakes from both sides. We are on the floor's lava, everyone's favorite map. It's not. It's not. Very, very few people like this map. I'm one stress level away from Oopsie Baby. Is it any good? Is DT in chat? Because DT really likes Oopsie Baby. It, honestly, Druid, I think it's good, but it's fallen off since, I mean, most people didn't have it before Full Disclosure, but Full Disclosure kind of took the wind out of its sails because Attractor, Inoculus, and Repeller, also 3 range. Arguably, the other 2 aliens, Repeller and Attractor, have better abilities than Oopsie Baby, but that doesn't make it bad. It's just not as good as it once was. Speaking of not quite as good, Fried Cat. Doesn't seem good. Why does nobody do a Phobies trench strat? What does that mean, Taco? I'm honestly not clear on what that means. So we're getting a little Phobies violence going down here. I mean, the early takedown, I think, was... I guess this was fine. You end up coming out slightly ahead because you do some damage to the Stabby. You trade 1-drops. Everything's even. I'm not a huge fan of Gesundheit, but sure. Honestly, I like what Smiley has on the board more, but MOSCA's now making up for it getting the Stabby online. Not a problem, Druid. Feel free to ask anything else also, and that goes for everybody else.
I needed that.
So, chat, I actually finished my... Well, I'm 99.9% Ooh, Quagmire. We got a Snot monster going. I'm 99.9% done with my custom Shredder figure. The only thing I need to make is a cloak, but I need my wife's help with that because she needs to get me some fabric. She says she has some somewhere in the house, and I don't know where it is, but it's painted, it's ready to go, it's over there on the desk. I'm waiting for it to dry. Maybe I'll show everybody tomorrow. I'll take some pictures offline. I'm actually really excited about this because I think it turned out pretty well. AWOL eats it to the lava. I guess that was necessary, but... Get a little jar action going on. Basically, put traps behind walls. Basically put traps, but walls behind the traps, and get lobbers behind the walls. That sounds like people would do it if they had all day and infinite keys. Because that's a lot to set up. Maybe you could do it on, like, RCO? Maybe you can do it on RCO. Like, they're... Oh my god, is this a dead Quagmire? This might be a dead Quagmire, chat. Wow. It's not gonna die. No, it is! Oh my god. What level is this Murder Wing? Okay, these are pretty high level. Oh, maybe not. It's a level 6. Level 10? Dead Quagmire, yes. This would probably qualify as one of the aforementioned mistakes that MOSCA brought up. I've actually done it on this map, Grave Venus Chuck. Wow. Quag was low level, fair. Fair. I mean, it had 1,000 health, so I can understand why Smiley had sent the Quagmire in, but obviously didn't quite pay off. I probably would not have thought of that, because I would probably be thinking, well, what one-drop are you going to play? And AWOL likely would not have come to mind. Honey Bear is busted on the floor is lava. We've seen some Honey Bear games on this map that would be good. Trench strat would be doable in 2v2. Well, if you've studied your history and where trenches, you know, namely World War I, it caused a lot of stalemates, which leads into exactly the problem we were discussing earlier. We got a little Tickles action. You love to see Tickles. Love to see Tickles. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Recapping points. Tickles goes splat, in fact. Big shock there. It's possible that Smiley could have tried to recap that point with Canine, like do the damage a little bit differently, but it's fine. So what's going on, chat? What's everybody hoping for tonight? What are you hoping to pull in your packs tonight? I have a list. Like, don't go for something other than ultra rares. Everybody's going to say a big ultra rare. What non-ultra rare are you excited about potentially opening tonight? Ooh, we get Smiley with the namesake. Smiley with the namesake. Kivo 2.0, Zappy. Those are pretty cool. I can't hope for an ultra rare since I got Bluelian last season. Fair, fair. Something better than Electric Cat. One would hope. Honestly, so real talk, I don't know if people have been watching the Fright Night breakdowns. If you haven't, check them out, YouTube. They actually don't do really well for YouTube numbers. Granted, nothing can really top the random 3,000 views in like 2 hours on the freaking Rumbleverse short. But anyway, Electric Cat showed up a lot in Fright Night, and it actually did really well. It mattered when everything was at level 1. Just throwing that out there. So we get, speaking of Honey Bear, get a little Honey Bear action going on. Yeah, chat, if you're not part of the Random Thoughts Discord, !Discord, get the link. There is a Pack Polls channel if you want to drop and brag about what you open, or commiserate if you don't quite open what you're looking for. This is, like, Honey Bear is actually really good here, because yes, the lava's deactivated, so bad guy can advance to some degree, but 3-to-1 panic point advantage without having to really expend too much effort. Thank you, DT. All I want this season is more Gonzo upgrades or Smiley. Fair. That's reasonable. Alright, so a combination of Gesundheit. Ironically, Gesundheit gets disease. Does that feel weird? Does anybody else feel weird about that one? That seems a little weird. Is what it is. But the mud has worn off. The puke is gone. That means that it's a 5-to-1 panic point advantage for the bad guy. 52-20 to 45-15. On Gonzo Scritch and more dive plays. Seems good. Seems good. The virus got ill. Revenge. Mother Nature, man. Mother Nature. Takes no prisoners. Wonder why they diseased Stabby over the Gesundheit Honey Bear. Stabby is a bigger threat. I could see that. Honey Bear has a ton of hit points, and, like, you're not going to kill it that quickly. It's not a priority target. The baby Snakey here is interesting, but I understand. 1 key left for our hero, 0 for the bad guy. But, I mean, this Murder Wing's going to die. 3105. What's my number one? Like, what do I want to get? That's a good question. Out of non-ultra rares, I'd have to go look. Alright, staging the advance, playing it patiently, our hero here. Do I have Klopster? I do not. I do want Klopster. I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of phobies I want to get, but a lot of it is, I think I just need upgrades at this stage. I need upgrades and XP. Because there are a bunch of phobies in my collection now that I can't really... I mean, it's not that I can't use them, but they're not in great shape because they're so low-leveled. You want any Ultra except Morty and Kaboom? I mean, Morty's still good. I know it's a big meme on the channel. I do use it periodically. You need Bo Mangles? I need Bo Mangles upgrades bad, yeah. That will straight up open up an entire new strategy for me going double turrets. That's the thing. My Klopster's level 8 and doesn't do a lot of damage. Klopster has very low damage. It will not kill an on-level jar, which we learned as I was looking up stuff for Fright Night. That's notable, because the big thing you want it to do is snipe things, right? Ooh, down goes the unicorn. I mean, we're taking damage on the rest of this stuff, but again, the Henrietta poison, I mean, it has gotten there, but this is still a very much alive baby Snakey. Henrietta's not even going to kill this by punching it, so the Snowball will be able to retaliate. Obviously, the game is over at this stage. It's just, we're waiting for the inevitable. Klopster and Gonzo is good. I hate this map. Yeah, this is not a very popular map by any stretch of the imagination. Get a little beatdown going down on Stabby. Down goes Stabby. Wow, the Contortio even lived. But now it is Snowball against the world. This is a weird game. 38-10 to 26-35. The thing is that Snowball has Fireball, so... Yep. It's not going to get it this turn, but now it can run it down. Now you can just run it down. Smiley has accepted the inevitable, knew what was coming. Goes out the honorable way, doesn't try and elongate the game, but GG, well played, both players. That was pretty cool. Like MOSCA said, there wasn't necessarily a singular decisive play here. There wasn't necessarily like, oh, lost everything, but it was a series of incremental advantages over time. So well played, GG. Thank God they didn't go for the panic point. True. What if there was a phobie that can poison mech phobies just like Salazzle from Pokemon? I'm sure that will happen long term, but we kind of already had... I mean, it's not a damage over time effect, but we already have electrical phobia, so there is a thing there. You know, like, there's already a mechanic for something that's anti anti-mechanical. To the Salazzle example, until that, I don't believe there was any way to... Wait, no, could you poison stuff? Now I'm second-guessing myself. Could you poison Pokemon in the video game? Or are they immune? I'm pretty sure you could. Am I imagining things? I don't know. You're going to have to correct me, Forgo, since you brought up the question. Assuming that it was the case, I feel like by the time Salazzle showed up, it was far enough into the game's lifespan, that Pokemon that is, that it's like, okay, now there's a way to do it. We don't, and this is something that's important to think about whenever we're talking about, what about hypothetical phobie things, whatever thing is. We don't have to get all the ideas right now. Yes, it would be cool to have an example of, you know, something, a poison effect that works on mechanicals, or electrical damage that does extra damage to something, you know, like all of the weird combinations and all the cool abilities and all these things. You don't have to get them all out at once. It doesn't have to be right away. So it's fine if you know, do some stuff now, some stuff later, from the dev team perspective. You would love a phobia that would make undeads can't heal on hit? Oh, like it takes away their life leech? I don't know that I like that sort of thing. And it ties into the mechanical that can be poisoned, where it's... I don't know if I like the idea of taking away the base abilities, traits of the phobie types. I don't know. Oh, Salazzle is a oh, it was steel. It was steel. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know. I kept saying poison, but yeah. That would be 2 silver bullet. And maybe, but here's the thing. In this game, there's a lot of things that are effectively silver bullets. You know, even if you're talking about things like Electricat. I don't know why it suddenly went there when I was trying to click on this. Even Electricat, like I said, depending on the scenario, could be valuable. You know, there are phobies, and this was one of the comments that I wanted to save for another video, but we can talk about it briefly here. One of the comments in multiple comments are trying to buff a variety of bad phobies. Like Rusty was one of them. I can't think, there were like 2 or 3 others in the official Discord and saying, hey, these are weak, let's buff them. Some phobies are going to be weak. Weak in the general idea of this is not commonly used, and that's fine because they serve a particular niche, a particular purpose, and that's just narrow. And in some cases, such as things like sheeping gas, I don't think you can make them much better without them becoming oppressive. It basically will change the underlying base calculus for the game, and I think that's a problem. I want Jackalopes buffed, to be honest, because they're so cool. I mean, that's an argument I can get behind, because there are some things that would be really cool, but an early rushdown strategy with Jackalopes as resurrect phobies has the potential to be really oppressive. I think we can all imagine how that happens. If their stats were big enough, whether it's attack, or it's health, or it's both, or whatever, where it becomes problematic. What do I think about Microscopic? I think it's a worse Gesundheit, and I don't like Gesundheit that much. Here's the thing, though, Kratosss. You have to compare these at level 1. I haven't leveled this in a while because I haven't had a lot of success with it, so I kind of ignored it in favor of other things. But I really would have to go back to, and everybody should do this, go back to the dev spreadsheet with the level 1 stats, because if you level up Microscopic to like level 20, guess what? It's going to crap on a lot of things. But my level 4 Microscopic is hot garbage. So the only way to really evaluate them is when everything's level 1 and say, okay, well, if all things are equal, then it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because otherwise, it's just a matter of, well, what level is your phobie? It's got even bad things. I mean, Rusty aside, who's like its own case, but even bad things like bad sushi. If you had a level 25 bad sushi, you're probably going to win some games with it because it's just going to have a billion stats. You know what I mean? It'll connect with one thing and just blow it into the shadow zone, and it'll erase it from existence. You know what I mean? Thing is, phobies like Sushi, Rusty, or Charon are just bad even when they're supposed to be good. Charon's not bad. I think Charon's absolutely in the niche category. I think Sushi is one of the phobies that if it gets much better, it could be problematic, kind of like Sheep. Rusty is just a unique ability, and like, okay. I think Rusty should cost 1. I don't think Rusty should cost 2. And maybe it's too good to cost 1, but I never used Microscopic, but it's a real pain to deal with when it played against me. It's like Primate that way. I like Primate better because I can see where Primate is, but it kind of always feels like you play Microscopic, why didn't you just play Gesundheit? Most of the time. I feel like Charon in general is just mediocre, even in damage is worse than Honeybear. They both do 300. Charon's purpose is to deactivate lava. And here's the thing. And this goes back to the earlier point. I want to get one more game review before we go into the pack stuff. So we'll do it after this. All of these phobies can suddenly become really good if the maps change. Like, imagine a map where you really have to have Honeybear and something else that applies mud because there's so much lava. So much stuff. Imagine a map where there's not lava. You start the game with traps on the board. They're visible, but it's a bunch of Poison Ivy traps. It's a bunch of Baba Yaga traps. It's a bunch of whatever. So you could utilize Charon to clear a path, at least temporarily, to get through. I've seen Charon put to good use on Scopoceum. I've seen Charon put to good use on Vile Vortis. I've seen Charon put to good use on a variety of maps that have lava. And that's the main thing, is like you have to have... Right now, the map pools, like, yes, Charon sucks on the Big House. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Because that's not a map where you care about no fair, for the most part. And I think that it's not impossible for a map to be designed where no fair is a very powerful ability. That's the thing. Honestly, Leprechaun is pretty niche too. That, I think, is just a bad phobie. Leprechaun 4? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Leprechaun be good. Like, ever. It's annoying, for sure, but I don't think it's good. I don't know. My first rare, now I never use them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I might have spawned Leprechaun once. Just for the lulz, basically. Like, I don't think I've ever actually used it. Alright, chat. We'll do one more game review, I'll take a break, and then we'll get to the pack opening. I know that's what everybody's here for. It's this game. Our hero here is YuKay in the orange trunks, once again, back on Floor's Lava. So we watched a previous Floor's Lava game where player 2 won. This one, we'll see how YuKay does. This is my first Hevo 3.0 encounter. No indication of whether it's a win or a loss, because I just straight up didn't look. You got Dozer and 2 ultra rares in a row? Grats, Eric. Wait, people have already gotten it? I guess I was talking so long, so let me know, chat. What did you guys get? YouTube, let me know. What did you open for the season? I'm very curious. Hematic is such a very good first rare. Hematic is a really good first rare. So we have an interesting opener from both players. We get some quick caps by the bad guy. I guess one of the early on strategies. Like, this is what I used to do on this map when this was first in rotation, was send Murder Wayne to cap these corner points. Since then, I've kind of shied away from it, but it does end up coming up, so. Chiefs and Rocket Man, that's pretty good, Taco. Honeybear upgrade, Stabby upgrade? I mean, Stabby upgrades are good. Stabby upgrades are good. Hello, Tickles. Tickles is pretty solid, too. So we're getting some turrets coming down from both players here. 4 to 1, not 5 to 1 panic point advantage. But this is a cool challenge play pull so that you get the first hit here on Bomangles, recap the point, and you continue to soften it up. The cat up here is probably going to die, but it does allow for... Ooh, the cat is leaving. So this is interesting because it is possible for bad guy to advance and snipe the jar, but that would probably mean a dead Bomangles and a dead Cassowary. Instead, our hero, with the slide from the cat, makes it a 4 to 2 panic point advantage. Fair. Got a tractor. Nice. Grats, Forgo. A tractor's really good because you can use it. Oh, wow. You get the jar anyway. This is why I think the cat should have stayed. I don't think trading Jar for Cassowary is worth it. Level 9 Stabby, nice. Can't complain about Klepto upgrades, I'm with you there. Only good thing was a Blastomatic upgrade. I mean, Blastomatic's pretty solid, though. Blastomatic's pretty solid. If you can't tell, YouTube, season end, we're getting our season packs. We'll be doing a pack opening. It'll be in a separate video, so check that out later. Bone Mangles eats it at this stage. Like, YuKay is kind of crapping on bad guy. This is bold, though, and I get the sense at this particular point in time that YuKay had no idea or was not paying attention to bad guy banking to 9. Because this Evo is going to come down and get a lot of value. Fair, Gabe. Got Hematic Jin Sting, nice. Never going for gold again. Ooh, there's the Evo 3.0. So what is our hero's answer here? I assume that's Evo, Dojewall. I don't know what... You're struggling a little bit to get that out, I guess. So our hero is banking. Panic points are now equalized because obviously we had to have somewhat of a retreat to get away from the Evo damage. Interestingly enough... So I guess the idea here is that the Murderwing can't die from a single Evo hit, so if it stays here, it's drawing the Erratic in, but that's not quite... No, it is going to die. Wait, what level is this? This is a level 14 Evo. Holy crap. Okay, so this Murderwing just dies. Why did you do that? So that's a dead... Bad guy's out of keys, but dead Jin Sting, dead Murderwing, and it's Erratic and Jill and a Cottontail. Huh. I mean, honestly, Rocket Man is pretty good in this scenario because you can just, like, push the Erratic around to a certain degree. Luffy called he wants to set up back. It's true. Because look at this. Like, if they freeze the Erratic, the game immediately ends, right? The game immediately ends. Jill is brave in the lava. And Evo is bravely advancing in the other direction. See, this is the problem. Like, what do you do with your Erratic at this stage? You can body block, there is that. You're going hard. 2k health. Okay, alright. The problem is 500 health? Actually, wait. Yeah, you might be able to do this. Just burn down the heart. Oh, bad guy, no! What are you doing? Bad guy, not like this. So, if you kill the Jill with the Evo, you'd have to hit it twice. Maybe the math doesn't work out this way, like you wouldn't live, but you could freeze the Erratic. And just like that, Erratic takes it. GG. Well played, YuKay. Level 14 Evo 3.0 on Floor's Lava still takes it down. Alright, alright. Why did he not just hit the Jill while it was still on the lava? I don't know. Because, like, that could have happened. There were a few different plays there from Bad Guy that just didn't make... Wow! Look at this level disparity. Almost 40 levels. I didn't notice that loading into the game. Well played. Well played. GG. It is possible, in fact, to win going Floor's Lava. Or going into Floor's Lava going second. It is possible. Alright, chat. I'm literally 500,000 XP. It's true. It's true. Pretty new in the game. Should I save for Dreadful or just spend in Terrifying? So, it depends, Moro. Notably, you won't see it on here. Well, first of all, if you go in the store, see the little eye that's down here? If you click on that, it'll give you information in your browser about stats on your chances of getting certain things for the coffee packs. It doesn't exist for the tier packs. If you have not gotten a coffee pack yet, the first time that you open it, you get a guaranteed phobie of a certain rarity, depending on which coffee pack you get. And it'll say that when you first buy them. It doesn't appear there now for me because I've already done it. So my recommendation is get one of each coffee pack, then make a determination from there. Chat was pointing out earlier that until you have all the common and uncommon phobies, and this is chat speaking, I haven't crunched the numbers personally, that getting the lower, cheaper packs so that you can fill out your collection is better, and then you go for the higher packs when you want experience, so that you can get more upgrades. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Obviously, it comes down to, are you patient enough to grind for Dreadful packs? If you're not, and you just want the gratification from getting Terrifying packs all the time, sure. But I do recommend trying to get the gold pack for each season. It is a lot of work, but if you get the gold pack for each season, then you do get, or they tend to give you better stuff. Now, I got a silver pack and got an ultra rare tonight. I've gotten gold packs and gotten an uncommon. I think that was when I got Barzilla. I got it out of one of the gold packs. But I've also gotten ultra rares out of gold packs. Obviously, the gold packs are better. And it averages out to, if you can complete 6 games a day, every day for the entire season, you'll hit gold on both of these. Well, you got to do 6 games a day each week for the coffee, but you get what I'm saying. Everybody who's been here for chat has been listening to me talk about this a lot. I am a citizen in the United States, and elections are coming up in the United States at the end of this year. And I'm calling it out to everybody with as small of a platform as I have. It's important for me to put it out there that people need to vote. If you're not registered, get registered. Research all your candidates, and it doesn't matter if it's for the dog catcher or it's for somebody that you're sending to federal Congress. You need to research all your candidates, what their past votes were, what their votes are intended to be, what they stand for, because right now we are at a precipice and will be for the foreseeable number of elections going forward. The world and this country's future literally depends on it, and that is not an exaggeration, because there are traitors, seditionists, and plainly lunatics running from the Republican Party, trying to run to get into office with R's next to their name. And the bottom line is, they're bad people. The vast majority of them. And you can see it in what they do, what they say, and what they champion. So, get out there, vote. Get other people to vote. Get involved. Because democracy requires its citizens to be involved and engaged. That's the price you pay for living in a democracy. That's what's necessary for these things to function. 2, and I've said this every other time, if you have the ability to donate to charities, help out with charities. There are causes all across the world, in this country and other countries everywhere, that need help. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be time. You can volunteer. You could donate, say, clothing, old toys, whatever. Look at a charity, pick a cause. You're not going to be able to do everything, but do something. It's important to help out other humans, other people. It starts with each individual. Now, I have said on many occasions before, it is my opinion that governments need to step up and help their citizens. It is their job. That is what they exist for, to help their citizens. Until that is going to be the case, and that all of that is up to a satisfactory level, we can't just wait. We need to help people that are in need. There's natural disasters, there's man-made disasters, and both of them have such an enormous negative impact on so many people's lives all across the globe. Step up, get involved, please. All right, chat, not going away. Just have to do that. Yo, if we get some Rumbleverse this stream today, that was a very good stream. We're not going to do Rumbleverse tonight, I don't think. We're not going to have time. We still got to do 3 more game reviews. Like, we might get 1 game in, maybe. Maybe. We'll see, chat. We'll see. But I want to do some more game reviews. We got the YuKay one already done. We have a Great Ginger Gabe game. I know Gabe was in chat earlier. I don't know if they're still there. But let's see. So our hero here is Great Ginger Gabe, zoning into Vile Vortis 11. Obviously is now, by the time this goes up, it's going to be out of the pool, maybe even be back in the pool by this point. But the notes here, close game versus boss. Feedback always appreciated, and thanks. Well, thank you for submitting the game, Gabe. So let's see. Bad guy has a, we'll say, variant B of the typical player 1 opener on this map, and that is solely snowball instead of snowball and 1 key. Wait, what did you open, Anda? I did see it, but nobody else guessed, so I didn't see what it was. Was it bad sushi? Because that would be funny. Oh, Gabe also guessed bad sushi. But anyway, so Gabe here is doing... We saw this opener from some of the other high-level players on this map that we've broken down before. Well, I'm guessing bad sushi is what you opened, Nana. Did you post it in Discord? I won't cheat. But Gabe here went Murder Wing Snowball. Definitely respectable. I prefer a wider approach, as in 3-2-1, Snowball, Cassowary, something, so that you have more map control. But I can respect it. The follow-up is Klepto and Hevo here. No, he already had Kerbloom, I think. Bluelian? Nice! Grats! Get a little healing spell. I want to see you use some Bluelians, Anda. I want to see some Bluelians in your game. That's pretty cool. Alright, so bad guy here is now going with the Murder Wing. This Murder Wing could die. And it looks like it will. Is there a Spud coming from Gabe? Oh, it's a... Wait, Droney? Into Jar? Okay. This is actually pretty cool because nothing ends up on the lava. And the Droney is safe in this position, so it can be mobile and get around the rest of the map. But because of the positioning from bad guy here, it doesn't allow Gabe to cap any of these points, the top or the middle, for fear of losing something. So there is a little bit of a risk here. Maybe not risk, but a little bit of a threat here. There's some damage going down. Oh, you don't have Kerbloom, Anda? I thought you did. So it's possible I would have liked to have seen the Hevo go down here. There's no way your opponent is killing it. Like, there's just no way. It would have been like 5, 10. They'd have to deal 1,400 with their 9 keys from here. I guess they could Morty and then Spud and, like, I don't know. I just don't see how Hevo dies and then you can send it over here. But instead, we get a Burrow from Bluelian, which is actually really cool. We've seen Moly Bully on this map make this basically the same play, and Bluelian is fairly tanky. This is a 2,100 health, so again, not likely to die. Potshot's going down on Hevo, and here comes the boss. The big boss man. But Panic Point advantage is in our hero's favor, 3-1, because the center Panic Point has not been, top center has not been capped. I have a little song from Bluelian now. The aliens do have their own, like, little jingle, and it's cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, chat. And YouTube, if you're watching this and you made it into this game, let me know in the comments, would you be interested if there was a Phobies soundtrack? Like, you could buy the soundtrack from Phobies? I think I would. And yes, I'm a content affiliate and all that kind of stuff, but, like, I think I probably would. I would probably listen to it, like, while I'm walking the dog or something, because I end up humming, like, the main screen. Yeah, exactly, Andy, you can pick up some tips from this game, since we got Bluelian. Okay, so this Quagmire positioning is interesting. Obviously, Quagmire doesn't really care about the lava. I guess you don't want to bunch things so that boss gets a ton of value, because, like, if you put the Quagmire here, 1, 2, 3, 4, boss can move in, hit it, and then it kills the Droney and splashes, but you don't care if it splashes on Bluelian or Quagmire. But the Quagmire-Bluelian combo is super strong. I'm not sure why the Quagmire's here other than just to be spread, and I guess that's fine. Jack Song would be pretty cool, too. The song on the bank map? Oh, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think the sound, like, everything about Phobies, I would love to have the soundtrack. I think it would be fun. Alright, so boss is coming down. It's going to beat up on Quagmire here. Reasonable. Because Quagmire, this is part of the reason why I don't like this positioning. It just... I don't know. It just doesn't seem necessary. Just put Quagmire south of the Bluelian here. I guess the idea was to protect the bottom panic point. I just don't know if that's worth it. Whoa, what is happening here? Alright, so we're going to trade snowballs, I guess. This is pretty cool. I guess I can accept this. And we get the healing spa here. Now, this is dangerous. This is pretty dangerous because obviously you don't want to hang out here with the Hevo, right? So if you're not going to hang out, you're vacating and you gave them another healing spot. Baba Haha incoming? Well, it's already here. Baba is here, in fact. I love how Baba Haha is now spread from Onda to other people, too. I really want Metabot because of being a flying healer. You might be the first person that I've said that wants Metabot. Oh, no. The Hevo goes down despite the healing spot. It does require a lot of effort, but Hevo goes down in a trade for Snowball. I think most people, if asked in a game, they would give up their Snowball for Hevo. In most cases, I think. And at this point, honestly, our hero is in kind of a rough position. I don't think you can kill this Klepto. You can kill this Klepto! When did this Klepto get hit before? Okay. This invade actually worked out then. So you traded Hevo for Snowball and Klepto. Even if your Snowball dies here, you take that. You take that. Free healing spot for the enemy? Yes, but only temporarily. These don't last forever. But that's what I was saying earlier, is that it was bold putting it here. But in the meantime, we get a follow-up Hematic Jin Sting, which is now leveling the board out, but we do see a Gonzo. And the Gonzo is doing Gonzo things, and there are bad things that are about to happen to our hero. Namely, Murder Wing also goes down. So this trade is looking weird at this point. It's one of those where it feels hard to tell. Like, what are we looking at here? Evo, so it's 11 versus 6, 9, 12. So our hero's actually up a key in this whole exchange. 11 to 12. But that does mean the Gonzo is down for a little bit, which is the good news. And you get some free hits here on, well, a free hit that's going to get effectively washed away by the healing spa. Panic point advantage is still in our hero's favor, and we get a Gonzo and Spider as the follow-up. Now, the problem here is that the only ranged phobia, I mean, it's Jar and Jin Sting, because this is melee, even though it does represent a significant amount of damage, and it's Burrow. But you want something where you can get into position, Gonzo it, and then you can get a ton of hits. That's going to be difficult as it stands. Live action Grinch Monkey Scary? What? Alright, so we're jockeying for position here. Ooh. I'm going to try and take down the Baba Yaga. Get a boost on the Jin Sting. Oh no, this trap. Little does our hero know there's a trap, and that Graylian's going to be in range. There's a giant Gonzo in the live-action Grinch. Really? I didn't know that. Then again, I haven't watched that movie in years. So down goes Baba Yaga. Baba Haha does eat it, but this is going to be a great trap hit. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, you could ask, but like, come on. Don't be greedy. Yep, 0 keys for everybody at this stage. They have to win with what they have on the board. And honestly, this could be a really bad turn for our hero. Boss is pushing a bunch of damage, but still enough health on this for now. Oh, did they I thought this attacked already. I guess not. Graylian dies. No, it doesn't? Wait, this doesn't have... Oh, it's the other way around. So your fired has the higher fire damage. This is only 130. So this Graylian lives with 85 health. Oh, no. So we're going to get a big retreat here because obviously we want stuff on the healing spot. Droney gets back in, does what Droney does. The jar positioning presumably is to dodge boss plus jar. So it's possible Graylian still eats it, but this necessitates a boss walking into range and just getting absolutely pulverized in return. But boss normal attack and ability damage have the same damage. Oh, do they add up to the same? That's 550. 550, yeah, it does. Good call, Onda. There are a couple phobies that are different, but for the most part, most phobies, the numbers add up. Or not add up, but they align on the abilities and stuff. But it's not always the case. So Panic Point Advantage hero, getting some healing going, pulling back. I can understand why. It's a 4-to-1 Panic Point advantage, and right now bad guy is at 35-25. They have to commit in. They have to do something. And the Spider Yoink is going to be live, so you're going to get something. It's just a question of what. Now, presumably we're going to get a Gonzo buff onto the boss for you're fired on this upcoming turn, so you just have to not eat a billion damage from it. Which it looks like Gabe is setting up to do that. Oh, you're just going to attack it. You're not going to juice. It does do more damage. Okay, the jar retreated there. So, Jin Sting takes down the Stabby as expected. You're going to get a little bit of splash here, but this does undo... or effectively undo the fire damage. The Bluelian is getting a ton of value this game. Like, a ton of value. So we're getting the play I was talking about. You get the juiced boss. I really like what Gabe did here this whole game, picking off phobies here and there. You were able to commit in, like, that one skirmish towards the early midpoint in the game was... it was unclear who was coming out ahead, but ultimately... Gabe is, I mean, they're taking the day here as far as we can tell. 10 more turns left in this. I know it's obscure. Turn 26 of 36. Unfortunately, the spider poison doesn't do a whole hell of a lot here because you have healing spas and they're kind of all over the map now. But just repositioning to be safe here. Yes, you can get hit a bunch, but this is a pretty tanky Quagmire at this stage. It's possible that bad guy can kill it, though. Double hit with Clinico, double hit with Jar. We're going to find out momentarily, but it feels like it could be dead. Oh, yeah, this should die. In fact, a dead Snot monster. But the Yoink should be back online. Yoink is back online. Like, we're just gonna pick off different things from bad guys' forces at this stage. And there's not a whole lot they can do about it. Good guy's gonna leave boss as the only phobie left. The only thing here is, like, the jar's gonna get the jar. I don't know that I would have backed up the spider, honestly. Like, your fired is not online. So if you keep the spider there, you can yoink the jar next turn and then get it with the Jin Sting. Could you? You'd pull it to here. Jin Sting goes here. Oh, no, you couldn't. But you could move the Toy Story monkey back and then get the jar that way. You might get it anyway, but that might have made your life a little bit easier. At this point, we're once again in the position where bad guy has to do something. 1880 left on the heart. Panic point advantage hero. They have a spider. They have 3 healing spas. It's like, yes, you're fired. I'm on a healing spa.
Fine retort.
This is interesting. Why spider here? Are you close enough that you can just... 1410, okay. So this just guarantees that they can't recap enough panic points quickly enough, is what it boils down to. Because they're going to have to sink a bunch of damage into the spider, because they need to simultaneously prevent Jin Sting from getting to your heart, recap points, and kill stuff. It's just too much to ask. Blue Leon is the "this is fine" meme. I mean, basically, this whole game. So bad guy does make the appropriate play here. They recap a point, they body block, they kill the spider, they accomplish all the goals, but now that means Jar is dead. And Boss is not going to kill this Jin Sting in time. 1,500, almost 1,600 health. 235 health left on the heart. Toy Story Monkey is now one of the channel memes. Like, it comes up all the time. I have to throw it in there. Bad guy does recover the panic point advantage, but suffice it to say, we're going to get a little... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Same difference. Get a little Bluelian, nope action, I guess. Sort of. And ball game. Well played, Gabe. Actually, I think there were some minor things that you could clean up there. That one skirmish, like I said in the beginning, was a little dicey, but overall, that was pretty solid. Very well played. And I did see the other comments in chat. I just didn't want to pause at the moment. What do I think the color swap do Phobies without color swaps would do, like bigger stats or new ability? You could have smaller versions too. So for example, let's say that we only had Hematic Jin Sting. Let's say we only had Hematic Jin Sting in the game. And then they came out with Jin Sting. It's the same sort of thing. Like, you could absolutely, they could absolutely go smaller. Black Cat is an ultra rare. I feel like Headless Horseman, Black Cat, probably a witch-based phobie, are all like Halloween themed that could absolutely be things. Yes, we have sort of examples of each of those to a degree, but I think those would all be things that could come in and you know, because like Dozer or Barzilla, those are obvious references. Yeah, you're gonna have to have something that's a jack-o'-lantern, a literal ghost aside from Alistor, like a more actual ghost-looking ghost. I think a mimic. A mimic would be pretty cool. I mean, there's Halloween is a gold mine for this sort of thing. Skeletons would make up a good bunch. Yeah, I could see there will probably be another Resurrect phobie, right? There's a ton of stuff. Baba Yaga is a witch. Yes, but this is it is Baba Yaga, but this is like Baba Yaga's house also. So it's like... It is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? I feel like we need one that's your classic witch sort of thing. Dinosaur phobies? Yeah, some more undead dinosaurs would be cool, but dinosaurs in general. There's a lot of classic stuff, but I'm more curious, honestly, chat. I'm more curious, what are the non-Halloween phobies that we're going to see? Like, there were all... In the Alien update, in full disclosure, we got, you know, they were, as far as we know, they're... Well, the stress, like, Yeti, or excuse me, Sasquatch isn't really a alien phobie. I mean, you could make the argument that it's an alien that's just living here and it's the Sasquatch, but, like... I'm curious if they're going to introduce phobies that are not directly Halloween-themed. Tyrannosaurus Rex like a mech T-Rex would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. He counts as a Grim Reaper? Yeah, I mean, I don't picture the Grim Reaper as a ghost. I can see the argument for it, but it's not what goes through my head when I think about it. I don't know, I'm very curious. Mecha Barzilla, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Or should we get a Rodan first? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that could come. I'm super excited to see what's in this update. I'm excited to see what's in this update. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got to do 2 more game reviews, chat. We're probably not going to get any Rumbleverse in tonight because it's going to be cutting it late. Cutting it close. We can keep talking about the update, but we're going to jump into another game review. Got a Kratosss game. Got a Kratosss game. So we're zoning in here. Our heroes in the blue trunks. It's Kratosss. I lost keys early due to bad trading. Then I remembered Luffy. Take a guess. Oh, I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see this. The question is it going to be heart punching, or is it Starro, or is it both? I'm interested so the 9-key stress level phobia, what do you think it should be based on the photo? The very last one? Do we know it's a 9-key? Wait, are you talking about... Yeah, which one are you talking about, Kratosss? From the full disclosure one? Because I don't think we know what the last phobia is and whether it's 9 keys. Or are you talking about Akira? Because Akira, we do know what that does. So our hero here got their cat spit on by Creep, which is a little unfortunate. I don't like sending it right to the center anyway, but Bad Guy didn't really punish it. I don't know that they really could have. Imagine a line attack that shot in 2 lines, it would do a ton of damage. So you're picturing like a shoot-'em-up game where you get one of those like AoE things and it's multiple lasers going across? That would be pretty cool. I do appreciate this play, the Hevo coming down, popping this cat here. Innocuous. I found Innocuous to be really good on this map because it can bully your opponent off of their own panic point as long as you preserve the Gravedigger. This is the problem with the poison. This cat didn't even cap this point, which you would have known. So I would have liked to have seen the cat try and just put damage on something, anything. It doesn't matter. We don't have a 2-key electric phobia? Interesting. Is there one at every other key cost? Like, what's the 3-cost electric phobia? We're missing an 8-cost mechanic, probably a redesign of Gesundheit, and a 5-cost dimensional alien from the trailer. Yeah, there's still a few stress levels. It's going to be a while, even with people whaling the game, before we find out what they are. I'm not a fan of this jar positioning, because this creep can hit it. The creep will die, but it's just damage going down on is the problem. 1 to 7, okay. Oh yeah, Thunder Rocks is 3 keys. Poison Gesundheit. Yeah, I assume that disease-looking one, like, that's gotta be a Gesundheit recolor, right? So we're getting the build-up of forces here. Unfortunately, the Gravedigger got poisoned. It's an aggressive stance here, sending the Gravedigger to the top. I like keeping it safe so that it can threaten a break in the middle. I don't know that this block here even really does much. Because you can go here, right? I think you can. So 1, 2, 3... I mean, it cuts off the straight shot from 1 key, so it's not useless, but... This Hevo has gotten a lot of value. I think it's killed like 2 or 3 phobies already. This is a problem, though. So you're going to lose your jar? Well, maybe not. They could trade jars here. They could trade jars. I don't know if they will. Oh, the Innocuous was low enough, so yeah, you definitely take the Innocuous there. Despite all of that, the trading here has been favoring our hero. Their Jar's still alive. They have a Noxious out, which I don't know that it was really necessary, but a fairly healthy Hevo on the stim. But the follow-up here is a Klepto. That's a little spooky scary. Gesundheit kind of small to be an 8 cost. I mean, you could just make it really expensive and then, okay, now you got it. Like, just make it an 8 cost Gesundheit and all of a sudden it's a, you know, super powerful. I would expect it, though, to more likely to be just something disease-based or poison-based or, you know, one or the other. Maybe both. That would be kind of cool. So I don't know about these trades here. Like, this Jar is dead, most likely. Yep. Evo's dead. That being said... 1, 2, 3. I don't know if Kratosss has Snowball, but if they do, they can kill this Klepto before bad guy can heal it. Did you get double hit here? Okay, 1 hit. Obviously, the Klepto is going to live. Because you could have gone double hit and then Snowball, but like I said, I don't know if Snowball is an option. So Panic Point advantage, bad guy. What if there was a boss fight mode for Phobies? It's player versus AI. Isn't that just the challenges mode? To a degree? Or playing versus the AI in general? Oh no, this positioning. This Klepto's gotten a ton of value, and it feels like some unforced errors. That was weird. I guess they were running out of time there. So we're 2/3 of the way through. Turn 14 of 21. Calling it out because my subscriber thing blocks it. So this should be a dead Klepto. I find it difficult to believe this thing lives somehow. And now we're looking at 2 undead Phobies and a Clinico versus this army. Yes, the Gravedigger's going to die. But this isn't a terrible setup from our hero, despite everything. All the keys go into, or the remaining 6 keys, which is all of them, go into Murderwing and Baby Snakey. Wow, this actually lives. Which, yes, it dies to the Unbearable, but it necessitates an Unbearable hit, so that means the Unbearable's not doing something else. But what are the remaining 9 keys for our bad guy going to be? You got Stabby earlier? Nice. Stabby's a big deal. Bad guy is still banking 9 keys? I don't get it. I don't... Part of me says don't be this aggressive, but a bad guy, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. We don't know what stress level they are either, so, like, this Murderwing might be very safe. The same with the Moly Bully. The hell is bad guy? Like, why do you care about this statue? You gotta worry about this Moly Bully. What? I don't know if bad guy's trying to set up, like, a bait play here. It's a shame that I don't have Noxious. We'll get it eventually. Clinico with his undead friend. They are best friends. Like, seriously, chat, why did this happen? Why are these Phobies rotating to the top? What is there to be worried about up here? Everything is happening down here. Like, I don't get it. Like, this invade was coming from 1,000 miles away. You could see this with the Hubble telescope. I mean, you can see a lot of things with the Hubble telescope, so that's not necessarily a great analogy, but it feels like bad guy tilted and then just kind of said, whatever, I don't even care. But yeah, Kratosss is right. Channeling the inner Luffy, diving the heart, and just saying, I'm grabbing the game by the throat and I'm not letting it go. What the hell is Moly Bully doing here? Is that like snot? Oh, God, is that snot coming out of his nose? Chat, is that mole snot? They sneezed. It's absolutely mole snot. That's probably going to be the thumbnail here. Somebody get that mole a tissue. He's wiping it on his sleeve. That's gross. Gesundheit. So yeah, we'll get some moly bully beats. Get a little meatballage. And when suddenly, panic points. Ball game. GG, well played, Kratosss. Definitely channeling the inner Luffy there. Moly Bully doesn't have a nose? That is Moly Bully's nose. Like, it's actually tilted up. I don't know if you can see it on the card. Like, this part up here that looks like eyes, that's actually the nose. Well, you can see it when it leans forward. Because, like, these are the mole antenna. You know, sticking off on the side of the head. These aren't eyes. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the biology and physiology of Moly Bully. If that was eyes, it would be weird. It definitely... I can see where... Because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, those are the eyes. Wait, no, it's supposed to be a mole. So, no, those can't be eyes. Whoop. Can't cut. I need to copy and paste. There we go. Yeah, I get why people think it's eyes, but it's supposed to be nostrils. That's his nose. And then, like, when he leans forward on the attack, it would be a tough thing to catch and, like, pause it, but there's going to be a head there. You can kind of see it. Alright, chat. Let me see who's next on the list. This was... Whoop, no, don't want to do that. This was this weekend. Alright, we can get a Sivadas game in. Get a Sivadas game going. So Sivadas is our hero here in the orange trunks on Xylo. Zoning in actually against somebody that I've run into on the async ladder a lot because I've been doing async stuff. And speaking of the pack opening earlier, which you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But finally used Brony right. Chat, we opened Brony earlier. Let's see if I can learn something about the appropriate way to use Brony from our hero Sivadas here. We'll move from the mole snot discussion. So bad guy here is using an opener. Again, shocker, it's Snowball, but it's very effective on this map. Brony also has a cool animation. It absolutely does. It really does. The killer 86. Other 85 ones must have been killed, I guess. I mean, I haven't played Dead by Daylight, but that's what I understand happens, I guess. No, that game was fine, Kratosss. The game was fine. So Hero here is elected to get a Klepto online. One weird thing here, I understand this break, because it gives you a free, like, run here. But at the same time, I don't understand it, because who cares? Once you cap this after turn 1, it's very rare that anyone gets these, like, pocket panic points. It's always about these 3 center ones. I don't understand breaking this at all. If you're going to go Gravedigger, you want to break these center ones. Or do something like, maybe you block this off so that your opponent can't come through. I don't know. This seems like a waste. I don't understand. Because now the Gravedigger's where I think it should be. It's in position in order to break these blocks so you can free this up and get another way to get into the center, but... What the hell? This AWOL snuck in and get a free pot shot on the heart. Got a free hit on the heart for 930 damage. It's clearly going to die, but, like, that's kind of cute. You even get the aggressive Contortio play. The Klepto on the stim, because there hasn't been a spider, this means that, yes, you can send the cat in. It's obviously going to die immediately. But if you try and recap either the point where Contortio is or the point where the cat is, they're gonna die. It's toe licking good. Now we're getting weird. Alright, so Spider finally makes an appearance. This is gonna shoo away the Klepto. Are spiders one of those animals, chat, where, like, they'll basically eat anything smaller than them? We were talking the other night about how there are spiders that will eat birds. And I've definitely, like, spiders will eat, you know, small reptiles, amphibians, obviously other bugs. Like, do spiders eat fish? I don't know how that scenario would happen, but, like, would a spider eat a fish? Somebody out there has to know this. I got Octonaughty. Do you guys recommend me use it over Moffat? Generally, no, but on this map, for Tute, I think on this map, double yoinks. I mean, having the access to multiple yoinks on any big map is an advantage. But generally, I prefer Spider because it's cheaper. There are water spiders. Well, there are spiders that walk on water, but I actually, now that you say that, there are spiders that can, like, do an air bubble thing and go underwater, right? Or are you talking underwater spiders like they are in the arachnid family, so that technically they are spiders? This is a bold move, because if you don't kill this spider, your Klepto is dead, right? Oh no, this just did the yoink. Never mind. We were busy talking about spiders. I wasn't focused on the spiders in the game. There are spiders that eat fish and make nets to catch small fish. You know, Taco, that sounds familiar, and that's why I was, you know, thinking out loud. Where there are things like that that I remember learning about, and then it's not necessarily super pertinent information to most of my life, so it kind of just, like, slips out of my head. There are sea spiders in the deep sea, also totally unrelated, but I think Moffat is really cute. All the Phobies are cute. I mean, there are ones that are grosser than others or stuff like that, but Phobies art-wise, has done a fantastic job of making every Phobie both creepy and cute. Charlotte's Web, baby. I haven't thought about Charlotte's Web in a very long time. This is a great play. Heads-up play by Sivadas here. Get the body block here with the Maggie to ensure that your Klepto does not get yoinked when it pulls or gets pulled by the boomer. And speaking of Octonaughty, we could call them spiders, even though they're cephalopods. I don't know, they have lots of legs, and they should creep people out, because cephalopods will rise up one day and take over the planet. I mean, it's gonna happen. I think DT's right about Octonaughty versus Spider. There's value in the range and the extra damage. I don't have it, so I tend to default to whatever the cheaper key is for the ability, because the main thing you want is the ability, right? Spider's down. Just had to double check. Every time the Klepto comes up here, I'm like, I don't know about this one. So Pterodactyl and Bluelian leave our bad guy at 6 keys. Hero still now has 7 keys, because they supplement their forces with sheep and Sockassin. Octonaughty's tentacles or Octopus's tentacles are dangerous to eat, because the suctions on them can stick to your inside of your throat. This is just a free Sockassin kill. Womp wah. Is that true, Taco? I mean, I don't really eat them. I mean, I'll eat calamad if it's, like, fried calamad, but, like, that's it. And I don't even... I'll eat it, but I don't really like it. I think it's fine. Ooh, we get some Morty gaming, chat. Get a little Morty action coming in. So this game is still... like, it's still anybody's game. Bad guy is taking a beating, admittedly. 5180 to 8225, but 5100 health is still a significant amount. That sheep can't stay there, can it? Okay, so the sheep here is bait. The sheep here is bait because then you can yoink their spider, and now you have 2 yoinks. You have Octonaughty and you have your spider alive. So bad guy has to threaten our hero's spider in some meaningful way, or they just lose their spider. You don't like seafood? I'm not a huge fan of seafood. I don't really like it. There's a few things that we've talked about on stream before when we have our usual food discussions that there's some stuff I'll eat. But for the most part, I don't know, I'm just not a big fish person. Alright, so we get the yoink here. Get a little yoink action. And now, bad guy is without a yoink on this map. Problem number one. Problem number two is everything's clustered here for this brony. 5 turns left in this game, 4 turns left in this game, turn 19 of 23. I imagine this game effectively ends as soon as the brony hits, and maybe bad guy here is accepting defeat. Because this Octonaughty, there has to be a way to set up a yoink here as a kill. What? I think bad guy doesn't realize that you can't body block the brony. Oh my god. Chat. Look at this. This is exactly what I was talking about. Hold on. This is a clippable turn, chat. Look how insane this turn is. Bad guy, I don't know if they decided that they couldn't win this game and then just kind of went for stuff. But you get the takedown here, challenge play, pull. You then set that up so you get a yoink with Octonaughty to get the kill. Gravedigger's going off on its own because it's decided it's going for the heart, but look at this brony hit. Look at that brony hit. It's literally everything on the other team. Everything. That is a really strong turn, chat. Yeah, they took the bait and it cost them. That's exactly right, Forgo. That's exactly right. That's a big feels bad moment. And what's funny is the spider, if it were able to connect with anything, can still hit the, it can still enact poison, but here we get a lob, we have a Gravedigger that cannot be interacted with on the stim. Brutal. Brutal. Fatality. Well played, Sivadas. That was a great brony setup. Like I said, I don't know if bad guy didn't see it coming, or if they just accepted, oh shit, I got caught by the bait from the other pole, so it doesn't matter. Like, the game is over, so I'm not even gonna bother. I don't know. But regardless, that did not end well for them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, we hit our goal for the week, chat. We hit our goal for the week. There's a nut mix called D's It's Nuts, which sounds like D's Nuts when said, and there's a meme based off its commercial. That's hilarious. I'm glad they leaned into it, because it's funnier when companies just accept some of those things. When companies accept some of those things, it's funnier. So, chat, we got about 20 minutes left. I'm not going to play any games. We'll probably hold the other game reviews for next week. I don't think there's any subscribers that are currently on the list that we didn't already do a game for them this week. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But I think we're going to save those for next week. We'll be back at the end of the week for more Phobies action. Tomorrow's Fright Night. Tomorrow's Variety Night. Tomorrow's Variety Night, not Fright Night. I think that's what we'll do for now. Season rollover. Don't want to jump in right now, but we will. We will. So that's going to do it for the Phobies portion. If you're interested in Fright Night, getting your games reviewed, or challenging the streamer live, laughing at me live, We're apparently talking about mixed nuts brands that advertise as D's Nuts. Hit up the live stream, RTChompGG, over on Twitch. Check out the Discord in the description. Links for everything are down there. Likes and subscribes. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. The comments help. You know the deal by now. But as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.